Well, this has turned into a very bizarre finish to the season as Southend United. We've had, I think, our biggest ever win and maybe the biggest ever Premier League win. We've had a few sides that have just crumbled against us because so many have nothing to play for here. And we're going to win the Premier League title really comfortably, yet feel disappointed because of what's happened in other competitions. Today, though, on the final day of the season, we are playing Leeds United, who are scrapping for survival. Then we'll have our season review and look ahead to the summer because we've got to find a way to get stronger. And I may have identified a couple of new signings to do so. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 118 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today at the end of a very strange Premier League season, one in which United and City have barely broken 60 points, Chelsea have randomly dropped to mid-table, and Villa and Spurs have been closer contenders, but we're talking about the mid-70s. Nobody is getting near 80 points. The domestic season has gone very well for us. The Premier League title is comfortably coming in. However, it's been a different story in other competitions. Still no Carabao Cup win, still nowhere near in a Champions League after that horror show away at Liverpool, and also, of course, the FA Cup where we fell at the quarter-finals on penalties. So we're going to have to start to improve next season and make the squad that can compete in all four competitions. And I feel we've found a couple of gems for our scout reports that can do that. So we're going to look at a few new signings and more potential new signings in a moment. In addition to playing Leeds United, who are battling for survival, 2 points clear of Hull. They need to hope that they lose or that Leeds can pick up something against us. If they do so, their goal difference should keep them safe. And we'll also have our season review and look at what's been the standout positives and negatives of this season. So hopefully you're looking forward to all of that. But let's start with a bizarre few weeks on the scheduling front because this has been a strange old finish to the season. You were with me as we battered Liverpool 4-1, then lost 5-1 in the second leg of the Champions League. We drew 1-1 with Brighton to win the Premier League title after a record Premier League win. It's just, I'm finding that a bit this season. When teams collapse, they really go, don't they? We had the 9-0 against West Ham where we were 2 up after 78 minutes. We had the 6-1 against West Ham as well. We've had loads of 5s for and against. It just seems it's one of those seasons when a team collapses, whether it's us or the opposition, they well and truly go. We beat Southampton by 4-1. Casey Worcester with a rare start and a brace. Don't think he's done that since he's been back. His 2 goals were added to by Ashley Carr and Luis Vasquez. Then the 11-0 against Hull. And you can see again, 4 of those goals coming late on, but it was just a really bizarre game. Dion Kranic got 4. Joe Wills got 1, Rakoski got 1, De Angelis, Kivrakidis, Worcester, Carr and Torres all got a goal. Not sure we'll be replicating that again. Felt like the old days when I did the San Marino challenge, but I was on the other end of it this time. A 1-1 draw then against Brighton where we crept back thanks to Lewis Herbert from a set piece. Couldn't then score from open play after 11 the week before. A 4-2 victory against Aston Villa thanks to a Joe Wills brace, Kranic and Carr. Even with no pressure on us and with the title won, they still couldn't offer much Villa. They were just fumbling their way to a top 4 finish. And then 5-0 against Newcastle have really declined in recent times. 4 of them coming for Joe Wills, 1 for Kranic. The reason that was so important, Joe Wills, after those 6 goals in 2 games, is now 3 clear at the top of the table when it comes to the top scorer charts. He was on 21 and straggling in 3rd. Now he's top of the tree. Can he add to that at Leeds? Well, we're going to go strong and we're going to find out. We'll meet the new signings after this game. But firstly, let's wrap up the Premier League season. From no titles to 3 in a row, it's a remarkable achievement. I'm kind of hoping we will get a challenge next year because I'm going to prioritise Champions League over Premier League. Try and get that top 8, miss the last 32 game, and then maybe prioritise the knockout stages over the Premier League. So that may potentially make us a bit more vulnerable. If we have a look at the tactical meeting for today, we've made a couple of changes to the first 11 in that we've got Jude Sadler back, but we've kept McNaughton in because I want the youngster to get game time and football while there's nothing to play for. We've also brought in the likes of Soren Hansen and Rakoski, the 2 young centre-halves together, dropped Herbert the skipper to the bench, and Sadler actually missed off the bench last time because of an injury. So let's just see if we can get him back in here somewhere. Maybe Teddy Ivanov, who struggled a bit. He's been lacking physically in recent times. We'll take him off there for now. And we've kept a pretty strong, pretty youthful team for the most part. Ivo Torres maybe deserves a run. And actually, with Bernberg's situation, I'm going to do that as well. So Ivo Torres is in. McNaughton stays in. I'm going to bring Gomez back in at right back for Memic, or am I? Because he was brilliant last time. No, let's not mess around too much. It is Logan McNaughton in goal. Carlos and Memic the fullbacks, with Hansen and Rakowski a centre-half. Robertson and Adamson the wingers, with Kivrakidis and Torres in the middle. In fact, that is the other sub I'm going to make. Luis Vasquez will come in on the left instead of Adamson. And it's Wills and Kranic up front. Wills chasing the top scorer chart. And Kranic, if he scores about 7, could probably overtake him still. So let's go through to the last match of the season. See how we do at Ellen Road. Can we send Leeds United down? I mean, I'd like Hull to stay up because, you know, the fact that they lost 11-0 to us must make them vulnerable. They've got Charlie MacArthur at centre-half. Zeno Zabast at centre-half as well. Destiny at Doggy still on the bench. Bino Gittins, Castledine, Christian Jigel, our former midfielder, is still there too. It's not a squad that's really leapt on leaps and bounds, has it? It's stayed at the same level. So let's ask the lads to pick up where they left off. They've done really well since winning the title. We've got to find a way to deal with the pressure better in the big cup competitions. Leeds are win-loss, so they're due a win in this one. Maybe it'll be a funny end to the season after our dominant displays. Let's find out. Into the first half we go. Well, with 5 to the break, it's been a dominant display in terms of the stats, but without a goal to show so far, as Vasquez is brought down by Humble, but nothing given, and Leeds can bring it away. They've had no shots at all. We've had a few, but only hit the target once. But we have nicked it with Joe Wills, who is chasing that boot. Kranic doesn't want him to have it, though. He goes alone and puts it in. 29 in all competitions for him. He's been by far the more clinical in other competitions. Robertson gets the assist. It's a really good goal. And at half-time, we are going to have the lead. But now will we see the claps that we've seen in other games? As Jan Carlos gets it on the left-hand side. He goes back to Kivrakidis, and again we're comfortable in possession. And you've got to bear in mind, we've taken out our best centre midfielder and our best goalkeeper. As Wills goes wide to Robertson, into Kranic. Thought he was offside anyway, not given. But it is out for a goal kick. It stays 1-0, and at half-time, well, 5 minutes added on first. We might be able to double the lead because it's Robertson down the right. Space to run into and 3 in the middle. But they win it back. Robertson nicks it though. Poor clearance. Robertson to the edge of the box. Shot saved well. Ramos does brilliantly there. Tips it up to his left-hand side. Out for a corner kick. And Leeds have had to make a sub due to injury. One of the experienced boys on. As Vasquez delivers the corner. Joe Wills up. Headed away to York Robertson. The Bast throws himself in front of it. Behind for a corner. It's another opportunity. You can see how well we're playing against these poorer sides. We're almost turning it into a battle of how many we're going to score rather than if we're going to win. But at half-time, it is only 1, despite the fact that we had a real flourish at the end of that half there. Going to tell the boys not to get complacent. We're also going to talk to Kivrakidis and Kranic, who look stressed, and just say, relax, I've got a bit of faith in you. And hopefully in the second half, we'll get an immediate response as Robertson gives it away within a minute of the kickoff. And it's a chance for Leeds to press forward with Gonsalves. Up towards Christopher. Rakowski caught there. Is that the risk with splitting the centre-halves? We are missing Herbert back there from a defensive point of view. But we get away with it. Hits the woodwork. Leeds' first shot is a threatening one. But we stay 1-0 up and we're defending again. Humble to Christopher. It's not been a good start here. Can we nick it? No, we can't. Conjuga's in. 1-1. Where has this come from in the second half? We were so comfortable at the break. Maybe too comfortable. We've not seen this too often in recent weeks. Villa had a little threat, but no one's really got close to us as Torres finds Robertson. In he goes again. Almost scores straight from the kickoff. Not sure why he's suddenly shooting every time this episode. He's been setting up goals galore recently. There's 10 minutes gone in the second half. And Leeds United are trying to expose us here for changing the centre-halves, which maybe is fair enough. We've dropped our best keeper, centre-half and centre-mid. Maybe I should expect disruption. And Leeds are scrapping for survival. The other teams, realistically, didn't have a lot to play for at the time. The Kanjuga has got the corner kick. Can we deal with it without our biggest centre-half? Carlos heads up, not away though. Humble on the edge of the box. Into Roberts. McNaughton tips it over. I might have to bring the big guns on here. Might just have to go back to full strength for a few minutes. Bino Gittins will put the corner in. Away at the front post. And now we can breathe a sigh of relief. But with 35 to go, I'm thinking to finish this season in style, we're going to need the big boys on. I'll give it 5 more. We've had no response. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Kivrakidis off for Bernberg. We're going to take Vasquez off for Adamson. We're going to take one of the centre-halves off, probably Soren Hansen in truth. And we're going to bring on Lewis Herbert. And then I'm not going to change the goalkeeper, but I will take off Jean Carlos for De Angelis, just because he's not had a great game. Leaves one change if we need it for something else. In a dominant display, we've been pegged back, and I really wanted to finish with another exciting display, but it's always the problem. It's the curse with these episodes, isn't it? You have to turn it off before when you get to a recording point, and you come back in different form as Adamson finds Bernberg. Can we get a few late goals on the road? We get Adamson out wide to Wills. Kranic is in the middle. I'm sure Wills would rather be in there scoring, but Ivo Torres has it, edge of the box, curls it just wide into the stanchion and a side netting. Back on the front foot, the changes have had the desired impact. Joe Wills, though, is looking knackered up front. I don't think any of those who were close in the scoring charts have got many. He's up to the back post, Herbert heads just wide. Now what do we do with the final change? Has Højlund scored for United? No. Bashaj has got 1 for Spurs, but he shouldn't catch him. So I'm going to take him off. Ashley Carr on. Kranic will switch to the other role. And we'll just see if Ashley Carr can finish his season in style. We're going to go attacking. We're going to have a right go here. As Adamson puts the ball in, Rakowski loses the header. Our former player Jigel picks it up, but Bernberg and Robertson combine to nick it back. Herbert to Adamson. Forced inside. Support on the right, but not really high enough up the pitch. So Adamson goes alone. It's into Ashley Carr, and he's offside. He's not held his line there, I don't think. One of the weird things with Ashley Carr, he's a magnificent finisher when he's offside. And he is again there. It stays 1-1. We're definitely finishing a stronger. It's been a good display in the last 15 minutes since the subs. And we deserve to win it now as De Angelis finds Kranic and Bernberg. That is a poor pass. Torres makes something of it though. Memic back to Rakowski. We're forced to start again just because that one was under hit. Memic goes down the right to Robertson though. Good football from him to the byline. Crosses towards Kranic. Keeper comes. He's had a really good game. To be fair, for all I've said, their keeper's probably man of the match. And that's maybe the difference with previous matches as the Bass plays out. Definitely they're a lot stronger than Hull, who we played recently. They're still a bit vulnerable as Jigel gives it away to Memic. He gets it up to Robertson. Chance to take his man on. Ashley Carr, stay on side, man. I'm not sure about that. It's very, very close. He's actually being campaigned for to win World Young Player of the Year. Let's have a look at this one. It's Stuart Atwell. The Luton fan helps us out. Goal awarded. It's 2-1 to Southend. And now we can enjoy our finish to the season as Carr finds Kranic, who gives it away. Don't concede straight away. Seriously. Christopher forced back. Adamson nicks it. There's space to counter. Kranic goes. Ashley Carr's offside. You can see that. Why did you play it? Is it not off? I'm 100% sure that was offside. I'm sorry. There is no way that was on. And in the end, it's another comfortable victory. The goals make it look better than it was. But that's been the story of recent weeks. When we've gone forward, we've scored goals. Adamson goes back to Torres. De Angelis on the wing. Chance to cross. Ashley Carr's on a hat-trick. But the cross is poor. It's cleared away. De Angelis does get a chance to win it back, though. Down the line for Adamson. Support in the middle. Here goes Ashley Carr. Beaten in the air. It's away to Jigel. And he gets it up to the centre forward. Can Leeds nick another? They'll want a second goal here. Conjuga up to the centre forwards, but it goes wide past them to Gittins. He beats the fullback. In he goes. It's a great save, McNaughton. And again, wonderful stuff by the keeper. Memic beat him really easily. We win 3-1. Hull have drawn though, so Leeds United are safe. It was good work. It was a good finish to the season. We've done really well in the Premier League. 95 points is our best ever total. It's the first time we've won the league really comfortably. But I've got to be honest, I'm so disappointed with the others, even on the final day. It was a win for Arsenal, it was a win for Villa, but that takes them to 78 and 77. And I would back myself moving forward, even in a bad year, if we prioritise other competitions. I think we'll get 80 points. So I'm a little bit disappointed by what's been offered there. Arsenal, Aston Villa, Spurs, and Liverpool in particular, got to improve next season. Well, we begin the end of season messages with loads of awards because it's basically been a clean sweep when it comes to Premier League ones. The only awards we're not getting are the Golden Glove because the keepers pretty much shared the games due to Sadler's injury. Let's have a look though at who has won what. Joe Wills wins Premier League Footballer of the Year, 27 goals in 34 appearances and 8 assists as well. So more than one goal contribution a game. How many of those 34 did he start? All bar 2. It's 35 appearances. Why have they got that wrong? Seems a really easy stat to get right there. He also gets a Player of the Year award, a Players Player of the Year as well, and top goal scorer ahead of Hoyland and Pashaj. Kranic wins Young Player of the Year over Ashley Carr and over his teammates, but he's been absolutely brilliant. What a performance from him. 24 goals and 9 assists in the same number of games. Premier League goal of the season. Lewis Herbert comes second. Do I remember him scoring a screamer? Don't think I do. Can't have been that good. Let's go and look at the Golden Glove. Jude Sadler did come third. He was only 4 away, despite the fact that he missed 11 Premier League games. So, again, not got the number of appearances right for all of them. It's very odd. We win Manager of the Year, which of course is always good for the chairman. It is still the one who took over at the start of the save. And then we've got loads of players in Team of the Year. Not as many in the defence this time, which I guess is fair because it's been a bit more rotated with the new fullbacks this season. But both for the front 2, 3 in the midfield 4. And it's only Bernberg, who's supposed to be the star, who's the one that's missed out. Maybe we'll sell him this summer. McNaughton training well, he's doing okay. And everything else we'll worry about in a moment. What I do want to get through though, before we go and look at the official season review, is some of our transfers that are pre-agreed for the summer, because we've been doing a little bit of business. We've been finding a few bargains and a few young players that might improve us moving forward. The scouting team are busy. They're worldwide now. We've got a massive operation in place. And this is the outcome of it. We mentioned Fletchley Callahan last time. He was one for the future. But we've got a new potential first choice right back, and probably what I was looking for last season when I ended up with Gomez. Because Edward Agyeman from FC Nordsjælland in Denmark, of course a nation we're getting quite used to in our coach's head save now this week, is a £16 million addition at 22 years of age. He's a very good fullback. Now, I know you can see the immediate deficits. He's not the best in the tackle and he's not the best crossing the ball. Physically though, he's outstanding. He's 6'4", his jumping reach, his fitness, his stamina, his pace, his strength, he's got the lot. Mentally, very, very good. The work rate is exceptional, but also the key mental attributes, the anticipation of decisions, the concentration are all 15. The positioning solid as well. I've got a feeling that maybe he's not quite 4-star as the scouts think, but I think he's as good as what we've got. And for 16 million, if we can maybe make our money back on Gomez, because he's just come in and basically got booked every game, I think we would have a bit of a star on our hands. So really looking forward to seeing what he offers. He's only taking a wage of about 60 grand a week, which is incredible. I think he's going to be a star for us. That's my bold prediction of the summer, that he's going to be a superstar signing. Then the other one we've potentially got coming in, we're just delaying it for a week because I want to get a full scout report, is a centre-half from Mexico at 18 years of age, Elihu Vite. Now, the reason I'm looking at this for 8.5 million, being one reason, but the second is when you see a young wonder kid centre-half in your scout reports, and in FM24, when they can jump, you know you've probably got a jump at the chance to sign them. His jumping reach is 14, he's 6'4", he's good physically, exceptional mentally, lovely positioning, which is always my favourite attribute. He's good on the ball, he's good in the air, he's good in the tackle. Pretty much everything is perfect. There is one downside to this guy. Yes, he's going to become homegrown at the club. Yes, he's a brilliant centre-half. Natural fitness 8, scout report, might have real problems with injuries. That is my big concern. Do I take the gamble and hope he'll be all right? I think for 8.5 million I can afford to. But can I then afford to have him as one of 4 centre-halves, or do I have to keep 5 at the club? We've got a big decision to make this summer with Kieran Peacock, who's been at Bayern. I just don't know. We've also got to think about Hector Sanchez, his fellow Mexican, who's not really delivered what we expected. Could Vite be the answer at 18 and become another homegrown player for this football club? I think I have to sign him. For 8.5 million, it would be stupid to turn him down. I mean, look at this for perspective. Drew O'Day, appearance money for his deal with AC Milan. I could now collect 5.2 million which is 2/3 of the whole transfer fee for that boy in the summer. So let's do that. We'll take 5.2 million and we'll use that money to play for the Mexican centre half. I think that's a fair deal all round. So good signings coming in defensively. It's the area of the team I know I've got to work. If we're going to stick with this 4-4-2, we've got to have top-notch defenders. And those two, I think, are both going to end up being so. Let me get through this meeting. We'll be back tomorrow for the formal season review. And then we'll judge who we might want to sell after seeing who have been the stars of the season. Well, it might end up being all change at Southend at right back because I found another young brilliant one who might have to come in. But this screen has a familiar sense from last season, the deja vu of the Community Shield in the Premier League, and unfortunately the absence of anything else. If we go through to the new arrivals, we only bought in 2 this summer, 2 record signings in defence, and to be fair, Jan Carlos has grown into an exceptional left back. He's definitely the best at the club. For João Gomez, who's been picked out as the star signing, he has improved. He's a very good player. He keeps getting bookings and he's been a little liability at times. And he's not the best at the back post, being 5'7". So I might try and move him on again and maybe stick with the new right back coming in and keep Jan Carlos. Because having those 6-foot defenders who are monsters physically, I think really helps us out in the long term. The transfers out by comparison, we let Spike Britsko, who's doing really well in Saudi, so he should. He's an excellent keeper. Harrison Parker got a few appearances at Fulham, the club legend. When you look at some of the sums we got for these players, now 73 million for O'Day with the clause we just bought. We got Branda out for 33 million. It's been rubbish at West Ham. They got relegated. Takatsuka's gone to Saudi and done well. Luke Davis has made 1 sub appearance for Wolves and was brilliant, so they'll say that was 1.7 million justified. Then 1.5 million for Glenmore, who we've got a bit more for from a sell-on clause as well. Overall, we've definitely improved the squad. We got rid of a lot of deadwood this year, and while it was some tough goodbyes for the likes of Parker, Baranda and Takatsuka, who have been great servants, it was necessary. And you can see by the margin we won the title by, and the fact we got by far our highest ever points total, that we've got a more consistent, high-quality squad. The loans out is where it gets a bit more interesting. We recalled Soren Hansen halfway through. He's going to be one of our 4 centre-halves next year. Golobec came back after injury, but the big decision to make this summer is Kieran Peacock. He's gone to Bayern, he's done okay, but he's an England international. He looks a good player. He's just not my type. He's not got great attributes in most key areas for me. His composure's average, his positioning's average, his heading's average. He's not the best on the ball to make up for it. He's slow. He's not the strongest. I just don't think I can keep him. The good news is, with a year at Bayern and a year at Barca, we should make a profit on the 27 million we paid, but I don't think he's going to be a solution here. I've got to be honest with you. Lots of other young players that have done well that will probably go out on loan again, the likes of Vucic being one of them. Another good right back for the future. If you go and have a look at the season results, it was by far our most comfortable Premier League win. The last one that hasn't gone to the final episode of the season. Sellouts at Steve Tilson Park, which we can't do much about. And after that stuttering start to the season, it was again, similar story, wasn't it? A great run over the festive period. Then the big defeat against Liverpool in the league, followed by a big one in the Champions League. Basically, do I have to make a new tactic to deal with Liverpool? Because they have scored, 13 goals against us in 3 games there. Maybe that's my big problem rather than anything else. A 1-0 defeat at Spurs was a shame. The 1-0 draw against Brighton as well. But I think that's been the biggest thing this year. There weren't many draws. We've turned a lot of them into victories. And that has made the difference. Last year we drew 8 or 9, I'm sure of it. And we lost a couple more as well. In the Champions League, it was history. We went one step further. But some bad days as well. The 4-1 defeat against Atletico. Disappointing in front of goal against PSG. And we struggled our way past Galatasaray, let's be fair. But we did go out to Liverpool after that shocking turnaround. From 4-1 up after the home leg. I've got no excuse. The FA Cup, heartbreaking the quarter-final, and you just wonder how important that Jude Sadler injury was. It had been a decent run of fixtures till then, but we've generally found in both the FA and the Carabao Cup, we've struggled against the top sides away from home, but it was penalty heartbreak twice this year against United in the FA Cup and against City in the Carabao Cup. I mean, I'm sure the game doesn't want us to win this competition. We just keep getting tough away draw after tough away draw. We had it last year with 3 in a row, I think. This year, 2 in a row. And even if we'd beaten City there, we would have been going to Manchester United. So they're definitely trying to stop us winning it. The Charity Shield we won, we did well. But That doesn't matter now. We've won it a couple of times. Doesn't matter anymore, but we'll be in it again next year. Let's get through the moments to remember. The biggest ever win for the club and for the Premier League's history, 11-0 against Hull just a couple of weeks ago. The match to remember was the 9-0 against West Ham, where we scored 3 goals in stoppage time and 7 in the last 12 minutes. A just bonkers game. At 2-0 they went down to 10 and just seemingly gave up. And goal of the season was Lewis Herbert. You saw it came second in the goal of the season award. He scored an absolute cracker against Norwich. 4.5-star reputation, finances looking great. The top shirt sellers, the 4 strikers and Bernberg. Maybe we have to be wary of that if we sell Peter Bernberg. But otherwise, everything looking fantastic. We've just got to find a way to compete in Europe and win that blooming Carabao Cup, which is still evading me. In midfield, you can see the team of the year. They've actually gone for the backup too. Torres over Kivrakidis and Bernberg. Rakowski's in there alongside Herbert. But definitely the areas we're not quite as strong. And then the next week is Gomez at right back. Everywhere else, we're world class. The accolades, they are aplenty this year. Manager of the year for me. Player of the season, Joe Wills. Young player, Kranjic. Signing of the season, Gomez, but only 2 to choose from. And De Angelis getting his name on there as well for a pointless stat. Kranjic, most goals in a league match. Adamson, most assists, 18. That's a nice record. And you can see what I mean about the yellows there. João Gomez, 14 yellow cards this season. He didn't get sent off, which he deserves credit for. So the manager timeline is looking good, is filling up with trophies and awards. We've got 1 more year to go until the 15 season mark, where we'll do another bookmark and look at the footballing world. But for now, the focus is on the Southend summer. And we've got to think about what we're going to achieve, because our expectation next year is to win the Premier League and reach the last 8 of the Champions League. The end of season team meeting we'll deal with in a minute. In terms of the squad for next season, we've got a few changes we probably need to make. De Angelis might move on. Curley might move on. We're probably going to look at selling one of the right backs. And I think maybe it's the end of the road for Hector Sanchez, particularly with some of the centre-halves we've signed. And possibly Teddy Ivanov too, because in truth, we need a second proper target man. If we can get good money for Ivanov and move him on, I think we can get a better replacement in that area. So, going to have to be ruthless with some tough goodbyes again. But for now, if you did enjoy this one, a season that finishes the same as the last, but by far a more comfortable Premier League success, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments where you think we need to improve and what we need to do to break that Champions League curse, to get past the last 8. Is it just a tactical tweak, or do I need to do more? And can we win a Carabao Cup before the end of the save? If you want to find out and you enjoyed this one, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell to stay up to date with everything across the channel. We've had a couple of episodes at our new club in the coach's head. You can find that playlist up there too. There's also a link to the Twitch channel and a football podcast where there's so much more. So come and follow us over on those as well. But thank you very much for following another season. The 15th is on the way. Southend are saved, and we've got a big summer ahead. Will there be any more big additions? And more crucially, any more tough departures?